Hello and welcome to this Razertip video on tip care. We're going to cover basic cleaning, maintenance, and best practice to ensure your tips last by avoiding any damage or stress caused on the tips, giving you the best overall experience possible. All right, so a lot of people wonder, why do I need to clean my tip? How do I maintain it? You keep it clean and maintain it while you're working by removing carbon. Carbon builds up on the tip, preventing the heat from flowing from the tip into the project, and carbon's just the burnt debris that kind of sticks to the tip. Removing that is essential. A lot of people want to use something abrasive to remove that from the tip, like sandpaper or something like that, grinding stones, and they actually harm the tip. Over time, it removes material from the tip and damages it. So we're going to take a close-up look at the right way to do this that is gentle on the tip. All right, so you can see there are two options that we offer, the brass brush and the tip cleaner. Both of these options you can use while the tip is hot. The tip cleaner is great for sharp tips that do fine lines and thin detail. You can drag it right through the middle. It scrapes the edge, the blade portion clean of any carbon. You can scrape across the side. You can use the brass brush, the same thing on sharp tips, sideways like this. Again, doing any of these while the tip is hot will not hurt these things. If you're using a tip that's rounded or a ball tip or something that's not straight or sharp, you can still use it in the cleaner this way, on the sides, in different ways. It's still a good option. But the brass brush does work better on rounded tips because it fits into the contours better. You can also use this brass brush on shaders. It works great for tips with flat surfaces. Both of these options are safe, gentle on the tip, not removing any material. Again, if you use anything abrasive, you're actually removing material from the tip, creating grooves and lines where carbon will build up faster, and it will require cleaning more frequently till you wear the tip out. These are great options to prevent that. You can see this shader. It is a spear shader. It has some carbon. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to brush that out. So now you can see that it's clean and it's clear. The tip is not shiny and new. That's okay. It is oxidized. Using anything abrasive like sandpaper, grinding stones, emery cloths, emery boards, again, could remove material and change the shape of the tip. Another thing looking at this flat spear shader is a flat surface area or a shader of any kind where you're pressing over and over again. The carbon can build up. It gets in the way of a nice burn, but it can also kind of scratch your tip or your project. Carbon's hard and dense, so you want to keep it clean. If there's moisture or some other chemical in there, it can possibly be corrosive to the tip. That is also another reason why it is always best to burn on raw materials, not stuff that has stain on it or any kind of paint or chemicals that could be harmful to breathe, but also corrosive to your tips possibly. A lot of people have been told over time that they need to temper or anneal their tips when they're new before they use them. This is a myth. You can use them straight out of the packaging at whatever setting you want. They're designed and built to be used that way. When the tips are really, really hot, they can bend easier. The best approach is to let the heat do the work if you're burning hot. So keep that in mind. If you're pressing really hard, it's not always recommended. We also suggest using the lowest heat setting possible to get the job done. Another thing to note when it comes to burning, using the correct tip for the correct results is important. This is a writing tip, so it will work for writing. Forgive the artwork. It's rounded, it will leave soft, smooth lines, and it won't bite into the wood. If you're using a sharp tip like this one, keep in mind the direction that you are holding the tip. You can do finer and thinner lines, but it's difficult to do little circles. If you're trying to do a dot with a point like this and your heat is low, you can actually damage the end or bend the point because it's not really meant for this kind of use. This is a curved tip, so you are going to be able to do curved lines. If the tip was very straight, it's harder to do curves and you can bend the tip in the process. The curve lets you do wavy lines. The straight edge on this one makes it a little more difficult to do curves. They work great for doing straight lines and consistent lines. So there is purpose for both. They each have their own application. But this one is a little harder to curve with. And if I do that over and over again, I may actually form a bend in the tip. So it's not really the right tip for that job. So using the right tip can save stress on the tip, give you better results, and again, ultimately keep the tips from being damaged. All right, that is the basics of tip care. Maintaining a clean tip is essential for great pyrography results. Remember to avoid anything abrasive. Keep your tips lasting a long time. I know we've said that before, but it's very important. Also remember to like, subscribe, and share, and we'll see you around.